Welcome back to the Allegheny Health Network Nightly Sports Call. Josh Taylor in studio. Taking your phone calls, 412-575-2600 on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. Also taking your tweets at Josh Taylor HD. We'll start out on the phone lines. We'll start with Al in the West End. Al, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, Josh. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, Mr. Zeiss. Looking at last night's game and looking at this year's Steeler team, nothing against Alex Smith. I think he's an underrated quarterback, and I think the Chiefs don't have many weapons as the Steelers. But I think last night's game, changed the landscape of the AFC. If the Steelers play their game and they win the game against New England, I think the Chiefs gave the perfect blueprint how to beat New England. The Steelers are healthy. If they are healthy and with the weapons, they gave the perfect blueprint how to beat New England. And I want to get your opinion on that, Mr. Zeiss. But I think the Steelers now, if they play their game and they're in the A game, now, to me, things go right, health, of course, all that going forward. Now, clearly, to me, the favorites win the AFC. The Chiefs gave them the blueprint. And, Mr. Zeiss, I want to hear your opinion on that. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks for the call, Al. Al had a couple good points there. And to kind of piggyback on what Al said here, in talking about that blueprint that he's talking about, it at least followed the things that you need to do to beat New England. And some of this is no secret. You have to play a disciplined game. You can't make a lot of mistakes. Kansas City made a few. That early fumble by Kareem Hunt, that was something that probably would have bothered some people. But they didn't make many mistakes after that. They also played a pretty smart game in terms of being able to get a lead and hold the lead. They actually ran the ball to actually shorten the game. And they did it effectively, which helps. But they also did another element that a lot of teams probably don't take advantage of. They did a little bit of something different that New England's never seen before. Bill Belichick's really good at scouting and game planning teams and figuring out things that they've done before and figure out how to stop it and how to exploit it. But if anything, Kansas City did those three things well. But don't want to take too much time, Paul.
Well, I think the other part of it is Kansas City secondary is really, really good.
That helps too. Granted, they lost Eric Berry, though.
They did, but still, they have really good secondary.
That's true.
And I think their defense, their secondary at least, is much better than the Steelers.
And when your defense is that good, you can play a stronger, disciplined game against them.
And I think, the Patriots need to get better on defense, and they will. Bill Belichick's going to fix some things on defense. I know everybody's giddy in this town about it, but Tom Brady and Bill Belichick together are 10-2 against the Steelers defense. In his last 7 games, Brady has 22 touchdowns and no interceptions. So, and I think in those 12 games combined, it's like 29 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So my point is, it's nice to think that there's some blueprint out there to beat the Patriots. They're still a team to beat in my book, number one. And number two, the Steelers haven't proven they can stop Tom Brady in that offense.
That's a key element. That's a key element. Because you talked about Kansas City's defense being that good, and that's part of it. And they've given him problems in the past,
too. And the teams that have knocked the Patriots out of the playoffs, the Ravens, right?
Denver.
A couple of times. Denver with a secondary that was worth and a secondary that was worth $80 million or whatever. I mean, you have to be able to put pressure up front. And in order to do that, you've got to be able to cover in the back.
Hand in hand.
Exactly.
Hand in glove.
And I don't know that the Steelers have that second part down. They might be able to put pressure up front, but if they can't cover, and if Artie Burns and Hayden and those guys can't cover, okay, maybe we saw last night the Steelers can score 80 points against the Patriots. They're going to give up 90 and lose.
Well, I like how you mentioned scoring 80 points against the Patriots because last night Kansas City scored 42.
Right.
That's the most that New England has allowed in the 17 years since Bill Belichick has been their head coach.
Yeah.
42 points.
You know one other thing?
That's the most,
right.
42.
Right. Here's the other thing.
So someone had to get to that point in 17.
There were 3 other times in the Brady era that the New England has lost their opener with Brady playing. All 3 times they won the Super Bowl. Just so you know.
Don't want to make it too weird, but
just saying.
There's that.
I mean, again, everybody's all giddy about this, and I'm like, it's week 1. And the other thing is, and I'll ask you, I put this out to my readers and listeners and followers. If this was next week, you were going to play the AFC Championship game, are you taking next week, which means you just saw what happened last night, are you taking Brady and Belichick, or are you taking Andy Reid and Alex Smith? I'll let you answer that.
I'm taking Brady and Belichick. I
exactly.
think that's a pretty easy question. Going to Twitter here, got a couple questions Steeler related. Jason asks, does having 3 of the Steelers' first 4 road games worry you considering how they tend to play away from home? Is that a concern for you? 3 out of the first 4 games on the road.
Well, let me think. They got the Browns who stink. Don't they have the Bears who stink?
I believe they have the Bears who also
And who's
stink.
the third team? I'm trying to. Is it? Do they play at Cincinnati or no?
I have to double check that.
I don't know what their third. I think if you look at it, I think all 3 teams they play on the road stink. So I don't think it should be a problem.
I would tend to agree with that, especially with Cleveland.
It might be.
Chicago.
It might be Baltimore. Is that the 4th game?
Well, we'll take a look at it here. I believe it is Baltimore.
Yeah, it's
Baltimore
at
on October 1st.
So that could be interesting.
I actually said this on the Facebook Live. I said I predicted 12-4 for the Steelers. I think one of those losses could be at Baltimore. Now, to answer Jason's question, the way they play in Baltimore particularly, that might worry me. Cleveland and Chicago, not so much. But the way they play in Baltimore and the way those 2 teams go back and forth in that rivalry, that might concern me a little bit more.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me if the Steelers go 13-3, 14-2. They're that good, but it's still all about can you beat the Patriots when it counts.
That's going to be the question.
We've seen no evidence that they can. So until they do, no.
Until the evidence points otherwise.
No.
Exactly. Back to the phone lines. Matt in Bloomfield. Matt, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Gentlemen, how are you this evening?
Good. How are you?
All right, I was a little bit curious about something to get off the beaten path for a moment.
Okay.
The Steelers get that in next, but the Pirates in their fan base, they've been really down on the ownership, nothing about not putting enough energies and monies into the team to make it better. I was just curious. The first 40-year history of the Steelers, they had 7 winning seasons.
They were not very good.
Did the city and the Steeler fan base feel the same way about Art Rooney? I'll let you respond.
That's a very good
Yes.
question. That's an excellent question. I'll to his point, to Matt's point, and I've made this point before, and people have yelled at me for it. There is a cyclical nature to this. There are ebbs and flows. There are ups and downs. Now, I understand with recency being part of the scope here, people don't want to hear that. For whatever reason that you want to chalk it up to, that's fine. But Matt brings up an interesting point. That there has been a downtime. There was a downtime you couldn't give a ticket away to a Penguin fan.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
But things are different now, and that's how you look at it from a recency standpoint.
Well, but here's the thing with the Steelers, though. People did think that Rooney's were cheap for a long, long time, and they've come criticized them for it. And they went,
people still do.
But you know what I'm saying? For 30, 40, 50 years, until he turned it over to Dan Rooney, people thought this team is cheap. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were the lovable Steelers. I mean, everybody has this vantage point, like that history in the NFL started in 1972, and the Steelers were the most popular franchise. They became popular because they won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years.
And they won 4 Super Bowls because they had a couple early picks, and they used them on Joe Green and Terry Bradshaw because they were terrible. That's how they got
exactly. But I think the other thing is since 1979, which is, you know, off the top of my head, what, 38 years, something like that?
About 38 years.
Something like that, okay. I mean,
Longer than I've been alive, by the way.
What do the Pirates have, like 5, 6 winning seasons? Something like 6, 7 winning seasons maybe at the most?
Somewhere in that
so
number.
That's, you know, that's what you look at and say, yes, it's been cyclical, but by the same token, they haven't.
We're
had
still
a ton
in
of
the trough.
success.
We're not back to the
They
peak
haven't
yet.
had a top, you know, and that's why there's so much passion about, you know, with the fans.
And that's fair. And
The
once
fans
again,
just want to win.
And
You
once
know-
again, it's the most recent one. It's the most recent trough of the 3 teams. So it's harder to look at
It's
that.
like
with the same lens.
you know, Pirate fans feel like you know, Charlie Brown and Lucy. You know, like Lucy pulls the football away. You know, you get the 98 win season. You know, you're right there on the cusp. Fans are excited 3 years in a row, wild card. This is a team that's going to do it, and then they pull the football out of them, and that's what happens.
Well,
That's what Pirate fans feel like.
Well, we don't want to pull the football from you because we got to take a break. We come back. We'll talk more, answer more questions. We'll answer more tweets when we come back. Stick around.